that have talked about the poison thing.
Right. Yeah.
And make sure it's in context, because this is video. It will go out all as in one piece. I won't edit it out. So maybe if you want to, we can clarify. Make sure it's a clear thing
Sure.
too.
And absolutely. I don't want it to be, misunderstood in any way. What happened is really that uh, I came to America for the first time, actually, on tour with Europe. We were rehearsing at the Warfield Theater in San Francisco, and I had a rental, and uh, I was crossing the Bay Bridge, I think it was, and all of a sudden I hear my song on the radio, or let me correct that, I hear my chorus in another song on the radio
Right.
with a different lyric, and I stopped. Back then we didn't have any mobile phones. I stopped and
Right.
made a call to my manager, and it turns out that he had been in contact with the producer of that album, who actually had brought the Easy Action album, which my song "We Go Rockin' is on, to the studio when Poison
Yeah.
recorded their debut album, and played it back to them, and they just nicked the chorus from one of my songs. He suggested they do a cover, but they didn't. They just stole the chorus and redid it. So I mean, that's the truth. What happened was I wasn't really plugged in to this because Europe was doing really well, and I was completely busy with that. But my then publisher, Warner Chappell Music, went ahead and sued Poison's publisher, and that's when it started. I wasn't really involved at all, actually, and it ended up with a settlement out of court.
Good. It's,
So
I have a couple of thoughts on that. If you want to hear my opinion, just to kind of hash it out a little bit. And that's not a taking a side thing, but I was thinking about it because I went and heard the songs and I compared them back to back, fresh on my mind. I do hear the melody. And, what's interesting is, I know you said if you had sued them, looking back, but if you look back, I think that probably the suing out of court and settling was probably the best for the bands. Because I think if you being from who you are, being little known, like for the American rock audience in the 80s with no internet,
right,
suing an up and coming band, first off, the press would have killed you because there could have been a press spin.
definitely that would have happened.
So that could have, or Poison could have gotten careers. So it really could have killed two money making band careers if it wasn't quietly handled. And I'm not saying they didn't take it or they didn't nick it, but I almost think that like the legalities of it.
There's more to it as well. The thing is, what happened before they went to a hearing, when it comes to copyright cases like this, they hire somebody um, with musical skills, but not in the same business. In this
Right.
case, it was a musician and a conductor that got to listen and compare both the songs,
Mm-hmm.
make like a statement, which is normally that statement is very uh, it's very important. It's very important for the outcome of the lawsuit, if there's ever a lawsuit. And he said not only did they steal the chorus, they unintentionally stole part of the band name. He was claiming that that's a common thing when it comes to plagiarizing songs, that you steal more than you intended to do. So he claimed that I Want Action was actually Easy Action.
Here's the thing: I've heard a lot of things that I read in magazines over the years when I was growing up,
Right.
and now I've talked to the artists, and the producers and stuff to ask these stories, and they weren't true.
Right.
So Lord knows what would have come out of that. You know what I mean? With
It,
such and then Europe was just starting to break over in America, and America was the place. So
you never know what happened, but anyways, I wouldn't have been the one in charge of the lawsuit. It would have been, Warner Chappell if it ever went to court. But on the other hand, if the guys in Poison would have approached me as the songwriter and asked me, we like your song, but we would like to use the chorus mainly and rewrite it a little bit. Are you fine with that? And I would say, yeah,
mm,
sure, as long as I'm a co-writer on the song. And we could have split.
yeah,
Would have been the fair thing to do, I think.
The tour with